Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to today's episode of Game Poke, the show where we cover gaming related stuff and talk a load of old bollocks. And today's bollocks is all about games from the PlayStation original console that we would like to see get remade. Or rather, I would like to see get remade. Now, we've had a lot of good games in the past year or so, haven't we? We've had Crash Bandicoot get remade, we had Abe's Odyssey get remade, although it wasn't called Abe's Odyssey in the remake, it was called New and Tasty, which I found to be particularly cool. We had Spyro the Dragon remake for all three games, that was the tits. We also had Crash Team Racing, I think it's called. That was pretty sweet, although I won't lie, I haven't tried it fully. I've only had a go at like a level. And most recently, of course, we've had Final Fantasy VII. The Final Fantasy VII remake is probably like the biggest change of the lot. I mean, Crash still looked like Crash, Spyro still looked like Spyro, even the Abe game still looked like the original Abe games, just all nice and shiny reskins. Well, Final Fantasy VII, wow, huge difference there. But today we're going to talk about 5 games that I would love to see get the similar sort of treatment to those fucking games. These are games that I've loved. I've got a lot of nostalgia for them, they're fantastic to play, and I want these games to get remade in a similar way to the ones we've just mentioned. I don't know if it'll be exactly the same, what I'd want for a remake, but I just think they'd be great to come out again. They could get a whole new realm of gamers in. There's so many gamers today that haven't tried all the old PS1 games, because they were like the first edition, the first step into 3D for the gaming world. And the problem is that because of that, many of them look a bit naff now, don't they? They don't look great. So, a lot of younger gamers would play them and go, well, this looks shit. It's like, yeah, but at the time it looked the tits. You've really got to try it. And like, no, it looks shit. That's the problem, isn't it? When it comes to old Mega Drive games, old Super Nintendo games, they're 2D. And 2D still looks good. Early 3D? No. Not really. Polygon to fuck, isn't it? That's why I can't understand people that think so much of Star Fox. If you played Star Fox back then, you love it. Try getting an 18-year-old kid from today to play Star Fox and say, yeah, this is great. He won't. He'll be like, this is shit, I'm a fucking triangle with wings, woo! He won't like it. Now we'll keep it simple for game number 1. We've recently had Final Fantasy VII Remake, as I've already mentioned. I would love to see Final Fantasy VIII get a remake. That was the first Final Fantasy I had ever played. In fact, it was the first true RPG I ever played. Yeah. Because I grew up on Master System and Mega Drive. Not a huge selection of RPGs on there. And by sheer crap fluke, never got to try them. So it wasn't until I got a PS1 and I got Final Fantasy VIII I was able to try that. Final Fantasy VII skipped me at the time. I went 8, loved 8, and then bought 7. So I did it the wrong way round, but give a fuck. You know how in Final Fantasy VII you've got Tifa's bar? You know what it looks like in the original PS1 game. Then you know what it looks like in the PS4 game. And the difference is just, wow. So this is just an example of Tifa's bar, of course. It looks fantastic what they've been able to do. I can't even imagine, if you think Final Fantasy VIII, Balamb Garden, when you're in Balamb Garden, what would that look like if that was remade in PS4 graphics? Think of that for a minute. That would be fucking phenomenal. It would be brilliant. Music-wise, getting remade, alright. You think about Final Fantasy VII, its original soundtrack was very industrial in sound, because I think a lot of it was done with MIDI or some bollocks like that. And in Final Fantasy VIII, a lot of it was already orchestral, so for that music to get remade, wouldn't be a huge change, I don't think. I think they just make it clearer in sound, maybe add a little instrument here or there, who knows. But the music wouldn't change a lot, but visually I think they could do so much. Final Fantasy VIII would be a fantastic game to remake. Having said that, you know what probably wouldn't be a fantastic game to remake? Final Fantasy IX. I don't see enough appeal in it. I like 9. I'm not one of them people that goes, 9 is shit. No, I like 9. But Zidane's an annoying little cunt. Many of the characters you don't really care about. Don't get me wrong, the world in which the game is in, that getting remade in PS4 graphics would look fucking awesome. It would be great to see the story retold again, because with 9, I always thought like the whole game had this fantastic story, and then you got near the end and it was just like Alright, I won't give away any spoilers, but it was like, boom, twist, boom, so-called twist, boom, this is the hub of the world, the thing that makes all life. Like, is it? How come we've only just started hearing about it? It's like you've just thrown all this shit at me in the last 10 minutes of it all. It's like, okay, why have you done it like that? So I don't think 9 would be a great thing to remake, but you know who I'd love to see get remade? Vivi. I fucking love Vivi, he's the tits. Interesting little story before I go to the next game. My sister, when she was younger, she wanted to be a tattooist, right? The thing about when you want to become a tattooist is you need a guinea pig, you need to practice on human beings. So when her birthday came round, I said, go on then, as a guinea pig, you can tattoo me. Want a small tattoo, silly one, design I choose. So I chose a black mage. It's not brilliant. See, there. See that? That's my black mage. Whenever I went into a pub, people would randomly come up to me. I'd be chatting with a mate, having a beer, going, oh, yeah, yeah. And someone would come up and rub my arm like that. Who the fuck are you? I'd say, sorry, I was just told to rub the wizard for good luck. Everyone did it. Every night there'd be at least a dozen strangers come up and rub my arm. I don't know who started that shit, but fuck you. Next game I would like to see get remade from PS1 days, Metal Gear Solid. The first one was fantastic. It's the first Metal Gear game I played, because the ones before that were, well, I think they were on other things, but mainly known for being on the NES. I didn't own an NES back in the day. I owned a Master System, as said. So I missed that. So when I got into Metal Gear Solid, it was a bit like, okay, you're are you? Right, okay, oh, learning a bit complicated for a first-time player, but you get into it so quick. And the things you got to do, like swap controllers in certain parts, you know what I'm on about. All of that clever shit was brilliant. Story was awesome. Graphics were awesome at the time. Gameplay, I'd never played anything like it. Fucking love Metal Gear Solid 1. But the problem with the Metal Gear Solid games of today is the story. It's gone completely off the fucking rails, isn't it? I don't know what the shit's happening. Metal Gear Solid 1 was awesome. Metal Gear Solid 2 was awesome, although at the end the story just went okay. It got very fucking confusing. But we tried to keep on with it, thinking, okay, don't worry, the next game I'll know what's going on, you know. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 came out. Basically, things didn't get any clearer, did they? So I would love to see Metal Gear Solid, the original, get remade on PS4, just so we can get the gamers of today, the young ones, to try this shit. Because you're not going to get any younger gamers in today, are you? With the latest Metal Gear Solid games, they'll come along and go, yeah, the gameplay's great. I haven't got a fucking clue what's going on now. Think of it, that's got to be the case, isn't it? So if we remade the original Metal Gear Solid, surely that would benefit everyone. I can't see how it wouldn't. Very simple, quick explanation there why we need that game done. Now the next game is one you've probably expected me to say. It's the greatest game ever created in the history of video games. I know some of you out there will argue. I would like to point out now that you're fucking wrong. What? You're wrong. Best game ever. Soul Reaver. Oh, I love Soul Reaver. The legacy of Kane games are unfortunately dead. And the reason for that is... oh, excuse me for my chair squeaking a lot today. I think I've broken it. The voice actor for a particular character who's sorry, I can't give away. I can't say who it is without destroying the plot, and I want people to try the game. So, trust me, this dude unfortunately died, and he's got such a memorable voice that you can't replace him. You can't. So on the final game, they kind of just ended the story there, and in not an epic way. On Legacy of Kain Defiance, they just ended it, and that absolutely sucks, the fat one. It's such a pain in the arse. So I would love to... we can't really continue the Legacy of Kain games, it can't be done, but we can reboot and then go from there. We can do that. Obviously that means we probably wouldn't get the same voice actor for Raziel, because that guy must be getting on a bit. That's a pain, isn't it? But we could definitely get the same voice actor for Kain, Simon Templeman, I think his name is. I'm terrible with names, I apologise. Oh... all the things we could do would be fantastic. They did try to continue the Legacy of Kain games with something called Legacy of Kain Dead Son. And that game was truly dead. It didn't get very far in its creation. It looked cool in the bits we got to see. The story didn't fit in with the others, but the game was completed, so it might have fitted in perfectly by like the second half or near the end of the game. We will never fucking know. Huge pisser, isn't it? I would love to see Soul Reaver get remade, sorry. Yeah, we'd have to have new voice actors. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it, as long as they put their all into it and do a good job. I think we could make something truly awesome and continue the legacy of Kane games. And if you're thinking, oh, that means you'd have to remake Blood Omen, the original one, first, I don't think you would. Because when I played Soul Reaver back in the day, first time, I hadn't played Blood Omen. I played Soul Reaver 1 before Blood Omen. And I was fine. I got what was going on. I got Blood Omen later and, you know, tied all the little story bits together. But you could remake Soul Reaver and just have story flashbacks of memorable shit in Blood Omen. Because Blood Omen, you can sum up the key pieces of what happened in the story. You don't have to go into the full detail. You just don't. Plus, Blood Omen was a 2D game, and while it was a great game, it wasn't Soul Reaver. I think you could just remake Soul Reaver and shove in little bits of what happened in the past with Kane in terms of the story. Yes, I've overthought this like fuck. Give me a break. I really want this to be a thing, and I know you do too. So we got to go and find the people that can make it and hold them at gunpoint until they do it. Kidnap their families and shit like that, you know. I'm fucking serious here. The next game is one that you probably won't agree with me at first, so give me a minute to hear the reasoning, alright? Tekken. The first Tekken. Now, let's think about this. I think the last game we had was Tekken 7, and you are not going to get any new young gamers in, are you? This is the problem today. A lot of the games we're on about, younger gamers ain't going to try. They're just not. No young gamer of 17 or whatever is going to come along and play Tekken 7 as his first one, because he's not going to know what the fuck's going on with the story. He's not going to know who the fucking characters are. Tekken has gone so long that people are forgetting who's what or not getting the chance to learn who's who and all that pony. But if you look at the Mortal Kombat games, they figured that out. They realised that happened. They got the Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and well, they just looked at it and the story was like, whoa, okay, it's all got a bit crazy now, we need to think what to do next. So they thought, we will take the bit of crazy at the end of that one and we'll reboot it with the typical bullshit storyline of time travel. Yeah, but it worked. People are into Mortal Kombat today more than they have been in fucking years, and that's because, let's see, we've only had, was it 3? Yes, 3 Mortal Kombats now. So the latest one, the one before, and the one that was the reboot. So you've only got to know them 3 Mortal Kombats. Whereas if there hadn't been a reboot, you'd have to know a hell of a lot more. That's the same problem with Tekken. You've got to know all this shit to know what's going on with the latest game. If we just had the first one, rebooted that, the characters, in-depth story into each one, like it had all just started, you know, Kazuya, Heihachi, Devil, all that cool shit. We start from the beginning. You don't have to do time travel crap, you don't. Just start again. If you want to put in some plot reason bollocks, fine. But I think we could quite easily get away with fucking Tekken. Cunting chair today's pissing me off. It would be great. And you could throw in a couple of new characters and give them backstory of what they were doing at the time of the original Tekken. Can't think of any character off the top of my head right now. Maybe that character Unknown. Quite an adequate name because fuck knows who she is. It was always a bit of a mystery. You could put in the reasons and backstory to who the fuck she is, couldn't you? If you remade Tekken 1. That's why I think that'd be a great thing to do. Last game that I would love to see a remake of is one that the simple reason is just so fucking simple. We need a remake of Hogs of War. And the reason, as I say, is simple. It's because it's the tits! We love Hogs of War. Anyone that's ever fucking played it loves this fucking game. It's like the Worms series have gotten so far, and we had Hogs of War. We thought we have reached the pinnacle now. We have reached ultimacy, and it is the tits. We love it, and you've got fucking Rick male voice in the characters. How How can it get better? Well, we'll never know, because they never did a fucking sequel. Although apparently there's some indie gamers out there trying to do a sequel. I hope that's true, and I hope something comes out of it. But it probably won't, will it? I would love a remake of the original Hogs of War. And I know everyone will say, oh, you need Rick Mail in there. Well, there'd be a few copyright problems, and the fact that he's dead. But maybe we could get hold of his old audio samples and just place them in. I'd be happy if you did that, you know. Old Hogs of War, new graphics, new things you could do. Old Rick Mail voice dubs in. And maybe to add that little bit of fucking spice to it, you know. Aid Edmondson. Because Rick Mail, Aid Edmondson. Need I say more? Need I say more? This could be a thing. A new Hogs of War with the old Rick Mail voices and Aid Edmondson. If we can't get Rick Mail because of the copyright problems that I'm sure would be there in using his old material from back then, bollocks, get other voice actors. Alright, there's no one out there that could ever be a Rick Mail. You just can't. No. But there are other voice actors that are legendary and awesome and funny. We could have so many comedians. Fuck, who could... I want Aid Edmondson, alright? That's mine, other one. Oh, what about, fuck, am I getting the name wrong? Rowan Atkinson, Blackadder. What if we had him doing some voices? You know he'd do a good job. He just would. We can even have, fuck, another name we'll crack with. Chris Barry, Rimmer. They're good voices, they are. Oh, the possibilities, but you know nothing's gonna fucking happen because game creators out there today, the ones that make the most money, they're cunts, aren't they? If you want a game made, you go to a company that don't make a lot of money. Let's face it, that's true. This example is the huge pisser off. Alright, a little story here. I recently bought Final Fantasy VII the Remake. I was an idiot. It was only after I bought it I found out it's not the full game, it's only what was disc 1 of the original. I understand that you couldn't fit all the game on one disc. I'm fine with that. You do know back in the day though, we got all the discs for the original Final Fantasy VII in one case, counting as one game. Now you're making me buy it separately, individually, because you're a cunt! And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the 5 games I would like to see get remade from the PS1 days of gaming. Probably never happen. But what do you think? Do you agree with my choices? What games would you like to throw in? I know a few of you are going to write Bubsy 3D. I don't know why, but go ahead. Let me know what you think. Hope you like this video. Smash that like button, click subscribe, all that bollocks that you have to do for YouTube, or otherwise we just quit and go away and have a little cry. I should know I've done exactly that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.